They were sweeter and there were love affairs to be had.
And lynchings?
Hello everyone, it's me, Philmont Bostic, a newly minted PhD in practical theology, and I'm so excited to see this clip. What we have here is Richard Pryor on the Johnny Carson show, and he's here with this older lady, Dorothy, and she's talking about the time when she was young, and she's talking about how great things were, and she was 85 in this clip, and I think this clip is from the 70s, and so you got to think when she was younger, this was around the turn of the century. Notice she's going on about how great things were when she was a child, and then Richard Pryor brings up this idea of lynching. And so the reason why this is interesting to me, because my focus is on theology and humor, and I'm working on a paper now where I'm arguing that Richard Pryor is operating like a Hebrew prophet. Oftentimes we think of Hebrew prophets, we think of people talking about the future or when things are going to happen, but that's not always what it's cracked up to be. In this book by Abraham Heschel called The Prophets, Heschel argues that the prophets were different than what we imagine. It said that the prophets had what he calls divine pathos. And what this means is that the prophets felt the heart of God. And what was God concerned with? God was not only concerned with the big things of life, but God was concerned with the small injustices of life. And so the job of the prophet was not to tell the future per se. The job of the prophet was to highlight the injustices that were going on. One of the things we notice here is that she's ignoring what was going on clearly at the time when she was born and when she was a child. Lynchings were something that went over all across America. And so what Pryor is doing here in a humorous manner, and that's what makes him such a genius, is he's pointing out that you're talking about how great things are, but you're only seeing it from your perspective. You're not seeing the injustice of your brothers. And what we have to understand is the job of a prophet is to point out injustice, not just for what's happening to us, but what's happening around us. And so what Pryor is doing here is operating just like a Hebrew prophet of the day. He is taking God's heart. He is seeing what's going on, and that he is pointing out that she is missing something that's going on every day in her life. People were losing their lives for the simplest things. And so I found this clip amazing, and as somebody who looks at theology and humor, Richard Pryor is one of the people that I really think embodies what a true prophet is supposed to be. So going forward, when you think about a prophet, understand a prophet can be humorous, and a prophet's not trying to predict the future. He's trying to show you the heart of God.